Okay, in this one I'm going to show you a second example of a linear function. So this time I'm going to go with an example from your book. So it's a linear graph. This will help you along with your work. And it's page 160 in your book. And it's question 1 part 6. Okay, so in this question then, what I'm going to do is h of x is 1 over 5 minus x, and it's between -2 and 2. Okay, so all the real numbers, it says x is an element of real, so all the real numbers between -2 and 2. So in this case I'm going to let x equal to -2, so 1/5 minus, and in brackets -2, which will be 1/5 plus 2, which would be 2.2, or 2 1/5. So in this one we put in -2 and we get out 2 1/5. Okay, so it's more difficult, I suppose, because it has the fraction here. When x is -1, 1/5 minus, and in brackets -1, which would be 1/5 plus 1, which is 1.2, or -1 and 1 1/5. Okay, so you can use either or decimal or fraction. When x is 0, 1/5 minus 0, which is 1/5, so 0 and 1/5. When x is 1, 1/5 minus, and in brackets 1, which is 1/5, minus 1, which is -0.8. So it will be 1, comma, minus 4/5, if you like. So you can change between the decimal and the fractions, whichever suits you. And finally, when x is 2, 1/5 minus 2, which is 1/5 minus 2, which is equal to minus 1.8, or 2, comma, minus 1 and 4/5. Okay, so that one's a bit more complicated because you have decimals and fractions, but that's like one of the examples you have. And again, now you're going to draw out your graph. So this time we need to go from -2, and I'll make this one slightly bigger depending on my scales. Okay, so this is your x and this is your y. So I'm going to go -1 -2 plus 1 plus 2. And on the y-axis then, I'm going to go 1, 2, -1, -2. Okay, so I'm spreading out my graph a little bit so it's easier for you to see. So the first one is -2, so go across to -2 and up to 2 1/5. So 2 1/5 will be here. Okay, I've split the y-axis into 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. Okay, so the 5 boxes might help there. So -1 and then 1 1/5 will be here. 0 up to 1/5, 1 down to -4/5, and 2 down to -1 and 4/5. And you'll know if you've done these correctly, because when you join them, you should get always a straight line with your ruler. Okay, So something like so. And that's just an example of a more difficult one, which will help you as well with some of the questions you have to do today. Okay?